Hello, and welcome back to Password. I am I am a little disappointed in how little Tyson there has been, but that's okay. More importantly, a family member gave me some ice cream because they didn't like it, but told me maybe I would. So I have procured a 2 scoops of it in this bowl, right? Yeah. It is. I think the flavor was cookie batter. Oh no. There was like no. At first, I thought it's like, oh, is this just cookie dough? And like, no, it's just. It looks like vanilla ice cream or like a nice French vanilla, so it has that more creamy hint to it. Almost like having that extra peach tone to it. And I don't know. I don't know what to expect. There's nothing else in it. It's just the ice cream, so no chocolate flakes, no cookie dough chunks, nothing like that. But I don't know. But I'm going to eat it, right? Yeah. This kind of sucks. That's way too sweet. Holy shit. Like, I guess it tastes like a cookie with the batter. I feel like this tastes more like cake batter. It's way too sweet. Oh god, it has an awful aftertaste. I guess I just have like a container to eat of this at some point. Damn. At least I didn't pay for it. Oh, gross. This just sucks. Damn, am I just gonna like set this bowl aside? Let this ice cream melt? Oh. Oh, that's not good. I don't like that. Yeah, we're gonna set this aside. Failed experiment, I think. Oh well. I guess we'll just get back to the video game. Oswin had split off from me at some point, presumably going to search for Thanatos, whereas I figured I should be keeping a watch for when Dominic arrives. Oh, we're back to this one. Yeah. I like this CG. It's good. It's good. I wondered if I was getting numb from everything happening, from all the worry and fear building up to where I just couldn't feel it anymore. It was a strange feeling, almost like being trapped. Wait. Oh, okay, I'm not hitting the spacebar. I'm hitting the alt. I'm like smacking at the alt key, going like, why isn't it doing anything? But yeah, okay. But trapped is in a way that was different to the times that Thanatos had put me under. Different to the times where I just wasn't sure what to do. Different to anything else I had felt before. But I was sure of one thing, at least. I was giving up. I didn't feel like I had any control anyway, so why fight it? Huh, that looks really quiet on the levels. So here, I'll bump that up. I'll bump that up a little bit. So why fight it? What things I had managed to figure out? The people I managed to save? Was any of it my doing? Just give up, Dave. There's no point in worrying about it. Sally boy! Look at him! I heard the back door click open, and Sal wandered up to join me. I barely turned to acknowledge he was there. Still lost within my head, but he spoke anyway. 2 things. The first, are you alright? I'm fine. It was a lie, and he knew it too. But given what he'd likely been told anyway, he just nodded and let it go. The second was that we found Thanatos. And did he? I don't know. He's not talking. At all?
Just stating that it's out of,
It's out of his hands now?
just stating that it's out of his hands now. That we're in uncharted territory for him.
Oh.
We've brought him in the dining room. If you wanted to talk to him, or anything else of him, or ask anything of him, he talks to you most, from what I understand.
I get the impression that he made this happen just so that what happens next will happen. He's forcing what's about to happen.
Which is
Something bad.
and there's nothing we can do.
Thanatos said it already. It's out of his hands now. And it's out of ours too.
Oh,
It's alright. I've gotten used to not knowing anything, Sal. Just look forward to being home soon. It's what I'm doing. He nodded slowly and headed back inside, though I heard him hesitate going back inside. I was back to waiting, occasionally looking up in case Dominic had shown up. Oh, hello. Not that I was alone long. Oswin breathed out into the evening air as he stepped up next to me. I caught the vague smile on his face, and I wondered how he was able to do it.
not fretting too much, are we?
I don't know.
Understandably, you'd be nervous, anxious, and any combination of emotions.
Then why are you smiling? I looked at him again, brief fly, and noticed the telltale sign I recognized in my own face. He was scared, smiling, but scared.
What other choice do we have? We'll make our exchange. I'll stay, and you'll head back. Get your friends and get home. Me, well.
Do you think he'll,
It's possible, but I've made my peace.
He chuckled, shaking his head and wiping his eyes without taking his glasses off.
Benson is livid.
And he's not going to stop you?
He can't. This was my decision. Punishment or comeuppance for everything that's gone wrong during your stay here.
What?
I'll explain more when we're on our way.
He stretched and gave me a once-over.
You should go get your flashlight. It's only getting darker.
Yeah, good idea. I went back up and grabbed it, taking another look around the room for anything that could have been important, but found nothing. My wait for when we were meant to head off was spent at the top of the stairs, looking down at the foyer. I could hear the others talking about what to do with Thanatos, Benson's irritated voice amongst them. No doubt this mood was soured after Oswin had filled him in on what he's decided was going to happen. Though given the lack of attention I was getting, I could only assume the others hadn't been told of Oswin's decision. Eventually, I stepped back outside, noticing Oswin lingering about as if just waiting for Dominic's arrival without bothering to prepare anything. But we weren't waiting long at all. From the shadows, Dominic emerged and started to make his way over to us.
Sorry I'm late. You never gave us a time as to when you were going to arrive, did you? Ugh. Then forget the apology. We have a walk to get to.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Wait just a fucking moment.
Tyson stormed out from the back door and put a hand on my shoulder, pulling me backwards and stepping in front of me as a shield.
You're not taking Dave. So you're going.
Oh my god, I can't do deep voices. I'm too much of a small boy.
No, the hyena's the one coming with us. Like hell he is.
As soon as As Tyson was building up into a yelling match, I hugged him hard from behind, and it made him stop. As he registered what was happening, I pulled away and he turned to face me properly.
What's going on?
It needs to happen this way, Ty.
I'm not letting you go out there.
You have to.
What if something happens?
If I don't, same sort of problem.
We're going to have a problem unless we get a move on. Dave.
I'll be back as soon as I can, Ty. Promise.
If you don't, I'll be coming to look for you.
I lean up and kiss him lightly on the side of his muzzle. It'll be okay. It was a lie I had to tell myself, and my face gave away immediately that I don't believe it. Tyson, however, seemed to be struggling to understand, but didn't stop me from moving forward again, to stand in front of Dominic. Let's get going. I chose not to look back. I had to keep looking forward, otherwise the pit in my stomach was going to make me throw up. Or maybe not that, but instead be able to move. Dominic led the way forward, and Oswin beside me as we followed close behind. My flashlight for the time being was unneeded, but we were quickly losing any light coming from the mansion.
As I stumbled,
I thought that was a voice line. As I stumbled, Osmond reached out and kept me upright, seemingly distracted.
Dominic, you don't mind if we fill the silence with some chatting, do you?
Dom didn't stop, and seemed to wave Osmond off with a grunt. Osmond looked across to me, his voice dropping in volume.
Well, we're out here now. We're free to talk.
About?
I assume you had questions.
I assumed that you had answers, or, if not answers, things you wanted to tell me yourself.
That is true, yes.
He rummaged in his coat pocket and pulled out an envelope. Is that the same one from the lab?
Yes. Though given the circumstances, I'm going to give it to you now.
He offered it out, and I took it, unsure of what to do with it. I don't know, eat it? You could have just given me this back at the house.
Back then, I assumed that I was going to be giving it to someone else.
Roswell, you mean?
Yes, Roswell.
It was a photo, right? Of what?
That, I'd ask for you to see for yourself, but only once you're back at the mansion.
Why?
Aside from it being dark, I feel this might be something worth having a safe space to properly digest. What's in that photo?
It's not something gross, is it?
I wouldn't say so, no. But given we're meant to be following behind Dominic to whatever he's taking us, now isn't the best time. For now, put it in your pocket, if it'll fit.
I did so and hurried along to keep that distance I once had from Dom consistent. Alright, so let's talk about my dad.
I suppose I should start with a question. Did Thanatos ever tell you what David saw?
You did. It was a shooting.
Right. When I told you why Carol was there.
Dad wanted to bring Memphis in, but also save my life.
A sentiment that, as you know, couldn't be accomplished. He chose you over taking down one of the most dangerous men I know of, anyway.
But why?
A father, a decent one at least, will do anything for his son. One that is not so great, might choose differently.
So what? I still had to suffer because Dad wasn't around anymore? Even now I feel like, sometimes,
that he should have died.
Not exactly. Closer to wanting to die? Or at least that's how it was until a week or so ago. Oswin grunted and let me continue. But things are different now. I feel not entirely better, but a little bit. I want to live. It's hard, but I think that's what Dad would have wanted.
I'd say so.
What about you?
What about me?
Benson said you always wanted to be a dad, but life said otherwise.
Did he now?
Well, yeah, said that's why you interacted that way, the way you did with Roswell.
Ah, yes. I suppose that's not entirely inaccurate.
So, are you related or what? Oswin breathed out through his nose, shaking his head.
The photo explains that better.
How could a photo explain that better than when I'm just asking you directly?
Well,
Answer the question!
alright. Yes, we're related.
So like an uncle?
That's a close enough description.
That wasn't a yes. If you're not an uncle, then what?
Uncle is sufficient, though. Frankly, I don't feel like family, but rarely, very rarely, does that boy make me feel good.
Good?
Just good. I wouldn't go putting a label on it, like love or some such, but I do care for the boy. In a way, I don't really know how or why. Maybe it is love after all.
And Roswell knows.
I wouldn't put it past him to assume that we're related, though I haven't explicitly told him that we share a family tree.
Which means you two had met before this vacation started.
That's right.
But you barely leave the house.
Also correct.
Roswell had been to the mansion before.
Yes.
I continued walking alongside Oswin, thoughts swimming in my head, thoughts that keep circling back around to wanting to talk to Roswell again, to get his side of the story. Why hide any of this? Why not say anything sooner? Why lie about it?
Don't think too hard about it, Dave.
Because
there's not much to really digest. Everything I've told you doesn't affect much now anyway.
So when I get back to the mansion, what do you want me to do?
Pardon. I don't want anything from you aside from getting off this mountain.
But then what's sufficient about this letter?
I wrote a message on the back. A message for Roswell.
And you wanted me to make sure he read it?
You can read it too, it's important that he gets the message as well.
Sure, I can do that. Again, we continued to walk. The silence stretched out, with Dominic occasionally looking over his shoulder. Oh god. That's fine. Well, that ice cream be melting, though. I'm just gonna let it melt. That shit was gross. I'm gonna try to pawn it off on someone else. Like the tub. The tub? That's not a pint, right? What's the size of the normal, like, containers you get? I don't fucking know. You know. I don't know. I don't know how any of this is working. Again, we continue. Wait. As we continue to walk, the silence stretched out, with Dominic occasionally looking over his shoulder at us to make sure that we were still following. It was hard to make out his fur in the dark, the only thing helping being his tank top. Hot. Plus my flashlight. Though the darkness felt so oppressive at times, I wasn't sure if it was working.
Dave.
I almost jumped when he said my name, after so long without saying anything. What?
I'm sorry.
For what?
For you getting wrapped up in things. If I had been a better man, a stronger man, then perhaps I could have thought of a way. Your father might still be with us, and you wouldn't be on this mountain.
You can't change the past. Don't worry about it.
Perhaps not, though I still wonder how much Thanatos has properly orchestrated everything that's happened.
I almost stopped walking to look at him, but followed after when he didn't break stride. What do you mean?
Given Memphis keeps his list of associates either fragrantly out in the open or hidden somewhere where no one would know to look. Getting anything of value information-wise would be difficult.
Makes sense, but doesn't answer the question.
What I mean is that your father only arrived on this mountain because I called. At the time, you pointed out that I hadn't done business with Memphis, and while I had spoken to him, there was no way the police would know that.
But why? To take down Memphis?
Because Thanatos said I should.
And you listened.
While a machine with multiversal awareness suggests you do something because it is beneficial, you typically listen.
Huh, I guess, but what if he was lying?
I imagine that were that the case, you'd be dead, or perhaps you never would have come to the mansion, or I would have tried applying for something to let me practice medicine again.
Really? What was happening with the trial?
It was a long shot, but I do thoroughly enjoy being a chemist.
Enough to try to leave the mansion?
There will be a time where I'll have to leave the mansion eventually, Dave. I do not intend on dying here. I would hope no one would.
Nah, okay. I think this is probably a decent enough place to end the part here, so I will see you around, everyone.